我が伝説、我が偉業。これなるは悪の大河、共に消えてなくなれ。
Welcome back, nerds. Fino here with a guide for Summer Dobrynya Nikitich. She's a limited 4-star Lancer introduced in Celeb Summer Experience, the summer event for this year. She's on the same banner as Ciel and Zhu Fu, so if you're going in to grab the Curry Connoisseur, there's a good chance you'll end up with a copy. So what's the cat packing? Let's find out. Dobrynya's Noble Phantasm is Kludinet's Zmi Tatar. This is a single target attack that applies an NP seal and a post-damage arch resistance debuff. This lingers for 3 turns, so successive attacks against the same target will do more damage, though your first NP won't benefit from it. For its overcharge effect, you've got a preemptive anti-earth power mod for a single turn. This works on both her normal cards and her Noble Phantasm. Spamming this out by itself will let you lock an enemy out of their NP for as long as you can keep the chain going. This is particularly nice against archers, who tend to have short 3-tick charge cycles. Not to mention batteries, the old Gilgamesh special. This will help you buy time, until you can either murk them or get Castoria's Noble Phantasm ready, before 6 turns worth of Enema Elish come out with a glopping noise. The anti-earth angle is a pretty decent one for a Lancer to go with. While Gil might not fit that bill, you have plenty of valid targets, with some of the more notable ones including Tomoe Gozen, Tristan, Atalanta, Bavanshi, Berserker Lancelot, Vlad, Ibaraki Doji, Penthesilea, Nyalter, Morgan, Kriemhild, Kiyohime, Beowulf, and Kuwalter. While you could just fire this NP out by itself, the anti-earth power mod and the rest of Dobrynya's kit really encourage you to make good use of her normal cards. So let's see what's going on there. My Beloved Horse in the Summer is a 3-turn arts buff, 30 star dump, and a 30% battery. You should max this out first, and also unlock Dobrynya's second append skill to pair for an even 50. To provide recurring value, there's Summertime Nikitich. This gives NP gain once, and then stars, charge, and healing every turn for 3 turns. All of these effects scale with the skill's level, so I'd get this maxed out at some point. It's ultimately a third priority since it provides no upfront damage, but it's not insignificant. That leaves Anti-Dragon Combat Technique, Waterside. This is a 3-turn package of attack, crit damage, and an anti-dragon power mod. Aside from Kiyohime, who's both Earth and Dragon, you won't find many Dragon Servants who also fit with Dobrynya's class advantage. Many of them are rare seasonal variants. However, there are a wealth of non-servant dragon enemies that show up in the Berserker and sometimes Archer classes. These you can abuse freely. And if you're so inclined, you can throw in the anti-dragon command code for some extra punch. It's the one with Siegfried's face on it. This skill also has a more niche effect, fixed magnitude buffs to attack, crit damage, and defense if you're on waterside aka near water terrain. Funny enough, this is something I got to utilize very recently, since the penultimate boss of After Time 1, Pascaldea, is an archer that you fight along the shore. Dobrynya was very effective at rushing her down. For situations where the field doesn't start as waterside, you do have the option of running a terrain setter, though these tend to be inconvenient or inconsistent. The best option for Dobrynya is Lamdarillis, who's an AoE Arts Lancer. The two have class and card type synergies, and with Melt's Rain Dance, not only can Dobrynya reliably proc her additional buffs, but Melt can also purge evasion on her Noble Phantasm. Dobrynya has no way of dealing with hard protection effects by herself, so you could feasibly have Melt clear a path. These synergies may seem like the basis for a neat multi-core team, but there's some pretty significant drawbacks. Lamdarillis and Summer Dobrynya are fairly selfish servants who provide no concrete, fundamental team buffs. Melt in particular is a battery that drains her allies for charge. That's okay when you're running her with double Castoria, but sabotaging Dobrynya is a much harder pill to swallow. Dobrynya does counteract the drain somewhat with a recurring charge, but when you're trying to meet the temperamental requirements of 90++ charge management, it can be a serious nuisance. Not to mention that Summer Melt herself is a badly outdated servant at this point. She hasn't received a single buff since her release, and while her skill set was fine for the art's single-core era of team building, flaws in her personal damage and the lack of party steroids make her very risky in the multi-core era. So once in a while you can squeeze her in against trivial AoE waves, but don't count on her to do any heavy lifting. As a 4-star servant, Dobrynya actually acquits herself quite well. Compare her to the other single-target 4-star Arts Lancers. Li Shuan does higher neutral damage with all his buffs up, but he's the grand one-pump chump. He's good for 1 turn, and then becomes a total paperweight. Kagetora is between the two damage-wise with all her buffs up. She has relevant steroids that last for multiple turns, but her lack of a recurring star source means you need to go the extra mile to ever use the crit part of her kit. She is an evocation servant, so she's much more accessible and you can get her to NP5 without dipping in the gacha. A pretty good deal if you don't want to go super deep for CL, or you just happen to not get enough copies to make it worthwhile. Dobrynya does have a few things that Kagetora doesn't. Her battery's an even 30%, which allows for much more flexible turn 1 plays than Kagetora's 20%. She's got recurring stars in charge for greater consistency, and she's got anti-buffs. That last part can push her damage well above her competition. Against an Earth enemy, even an NP3 Dobrynya will overtake an NP5 Kagetora. Against dragons, NP2 is the breakpoint. So if you can get a read on your enemies, you can deploy a lower NP Dobrynya tactically as a counterpick. For equipment, Black Grail if you have it, and Ocean Flyer if you don't. Most offensive servants have their craft essence options break down in similar ways. For append skills, append 2 is your highest priority since it pairs with Dobrynya's battery. After that, consider as luxuries append 5 for a faster second wind, and append 4 to get a little more punch behind your crits. Not like Astoria's throwing out crit buffs anyway, so I feel like your average art servant, if you have room to splurge, can benefit from free crit damage. Summer Dobrynya is FGO's first anti-dragon lancer. She's not the last. Indra and Super Elizabeth will also gain this property, but they're quick and buster servants respectively. These are card types famous for their explosive power, but when it comes to the long game, Arts is king. Though she lacks good defensive options, Dobrynya can lean on Castoria and utilize her own recurring resources for consistency instead. And it's not like you have to make a big detour to get her. Being CL's bannermate has many perks after all. Thanks for watching, lads. Like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more, and come watch me at twitch.tv/Finotaisen where I stream every week, 3 PM Pacific time. Though I normally go from Friday through Sunday, I've been working Tuesday and Wednesday into my rotation recently. Aside from Sundays where I'm shackled to the gacha, I play a large variety of games, so odds are you'll see something unexpected. See you there.